Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I rise to address our latest tranche of making Queensland a safer laws. And before I get to the substance of the bill, I want to reflect on the nature of the contributions from those opposite over the last 2 days. A more duplicitous and self-serving positioning on this issue I have not seen. Those opposite, many of which do not support this legislation, but they do not have the courage to admit that to Queenslanders. Those opposite who presided over a progressive weakening of these exact types of laws when they were in government and created this problem, but they will not face up to Queenslanders and admit that is the case. And then we see them come in here and mount these spurious arguments, citing transparency, citing we need greater consideration, we need review periods. Deputy Speaker, those opposite had an opportunity to fix this problem and they made it worse. Labor made the youth crime crisis worse. Every single time they weakened the laws, more Queenslanders suffered. And that is one of the main reasons that the Christopher government was elected in October, to fix Labor's mess. Now, I note that many of those members opposite have had to get on the Dutch courage tonight in order to come in here and state their case, because they are so lacking courage.
Member for Buderim, I'd ask you to withdraw that comment, please.
I withdraw that comment, which was not directed at an individual but collectively. Mr Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, they are so lacking the courage of their convictions that they will not come in here. They will not come in here and admit that they do not support this legislation. And we will continue to bring this legislation, any legislation that is required to make Queenslanders safer, Mr Speaker. And Mr Deputy Speaker, our commitment to strengthen laws and put victims first has been met with overwhelming support. Fixing Labor's youth crime crisis is no easy task, but we are making progress on ensuring that families can feel safe and secure in their own homes and out in their community. It is every Queenslander's right. We will continue to strengthen laws for as long as it takes for safety to be restored and for victims to be protected. I welcome and I support the expert legal panel's recommendation to expand the total number of offences in our adult crime, adult time laws to 33. If there are young offenders committing heinous crimes like rape, attempted murder and torture, then they must be dealt with in a way that meets the community's expectations. Unlike the other side, we will not tolerate those crimes here in Queensland. Mr Deputy Speaker, my community on the Sunshine Coast has not been immune to Labor's youth crime crisis, which has long been one of the biggest issues raised with me by my constituents. I hear from families in Sippy Downs, in Palmview and in Mountain Creek who are terrorised by young offenders. I've often had residents telling me it was the same teenage thugs time and time again. They're known to police and they're sadly very much known to our communities. Deputy Speaker, I still remember the grandparents in Buderim who were accosted by 3 young teenagers armed with knives. I've raised it in the chamber before, but it sticks with me, Deputy Speaker. But it sticks with me not nearly as much as it sticks with them. Mr and Mrs Taylor is their name. They were the victims of a violent home invasion, and in that instance, fortunately, no one was seriously harmed because bravely the couple managed to fend them off. And good police work resulted in the young offenders being pinched and held to account initially for their actions before they were released on bail the next day and then released after a substandard court process with a slap on the wrist. That does not reflect the community's expectation. Deputy Speaker, that terrifying incident and the response that followed sums up all of the chaos and the crisis under Labor. They weren't just stories in the media. Those victims are real people with real scars. And the Christopher government will always put them first. Aside from Labor's weakened laws, one of the biggest issues with crime in my community was the lack of police resources under the former government. And we made a commitment to put more police boots on the ground, and that is exactly what we have done. The Christopher government have boosted the Queensland Police Service frontline officers by 240 officers, and I commend the Minister for Police, in just 200 days. There's plenty more work to be done. There is plenty more work to be done, but it is a start to fixing Labor's decade of failure. We are giving the Queensland Police Service the resources they need to tackle crime and backing up their hard work with the right laws so courts can hold these young offenders to account for their actions. The crime statistics show that we are making a difference. They're only early stages, but we are making Queensland safer. A 15.5% reduction in robberies, an 8.5% drop in stolen cars, and unlawful entry offences are down by 11.5%. Deputy Speaker, young criminals are finally starting to face consequences for their actions. For a decade, they were left to their own devices, running rampant through our communities, terrorising streets, homes and businesses, and we will not stand for it, Deputy Speaker. We have backed up our laws with intensive rehabilitation and intervention programs to give young offenders the best chance to turn their lives around, should they wish to take the opportunity. But we will always put the rights of victims first. We know, Deputy Speaker, there is a long way to go, but we will not waver in our pursuit of a safer Queensland.